afternoon and welcome. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Lisa Brown-Cornelius and I'm privileged to serve as the Chair of Staff Council. And I'm excited to welcome you to our final all-staff meeting of the 2017-2018 academic year. And more importantly, I'm excited to welcome you to our Staff Excellence and Awards Recognition Ceremony. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. And we are live streaming for folks who aren't able to join us. So if you're joining us via live stream, welcome. At this time, I'd like to invite Randy Manzak to offer our mission moment.
My passion is helping our students discover their passion through meaningful experiences, reflection, and helping them live their personal mission in every aspect of their lives.
Thank you, Brandy. As we include in any of our all-staff meetings, are there any things that folks would like to bring forward before we move forward with the content of the meeting? Any questions or concerns that you'd like to share before we move forward? Please always know that if you have questions or concerns, you can use any of the Staff Council feedback mechanisms off of our website, through our email address, or the form that you can submit to Staff Council to share your questions, and we do our best to post responses to those on the Staff Council website as we go. So I wanted to take a few minutes at the beginning of our meeting to share with you some of the accomplishments and work that Staff Council has done this year. At the beginning of the year, at our first all-staff meeting in September, we shared with you the 3 priorities that Staff Council had laid out for the year: fostering staff morale, enhancing the visibility of Staff Council's advocacy efforts, and promoting communication efforts with the senior leadership team. So all of the work that we have done throughout the various committees this year have focused on these priorities and have done so, and we hope, the betterment of the experience of our staff colleagues. So some of the highlights that I want to share with you about the work that we've done this year. 28 of our staff colleagues have been appointed to university committees. Those committees have ranged from higher learning commission committees to serving as resource persons on our board of director committees to serving on the committees that fall underneath the university shared governance system. So we're very excited about those appointments and we look forward to continuing those in the future. We've launched 6 employee resource groups this year. Those groups have taken off and have done extremely well. In those groups, in the time that they've been launched, over 20 events and meetings have been held for those specific constituency groups. And we're hearing anecdotally from the folks who are involved their appreciation for the opportunity to connect with staff members who have shared identities or shared experiences across the campus. And so we're excited that that has been an opportunity we've been able to offer. We offered over 21 community building events, from first Friday coffee hours to lunchtime events to having the food truck here. Nearly 1,000 of our colleagues participated in those events over the course of the year. So we like to have fun, it sounds like. So thank you to the folks who put those together. And we are lucky that we have the opportunity to come together in that type of community and get to know each other better and meet folks from across campus that we might not always see. Another key accomplishment highlight is, as we welcomed new folks to our campus, we established 45 campus colleague connections. If you served as a campus colleague, can you raise your hand? So thank you to all of you who welcomed our new colleagues to our campus, helped them meet someone outside of their division or department, and help them better understand the John Carroll experience. I think this is an awesome way that we represent John Carroll to each other. Other highlights: we revised our Constitution and bylaws, and the finalized document was fully passed last Thursday, or 2 Thursdays ago, at our last full Staff Council meeting, and it is available on the website if you want to see the revisions that we have made. The primary one among those, I think I shared this with you, or this was shared with you in January, is that we've shifted some of the power for making decisions around the documents back to the full Staff Council versus having that power solely lie in the role of the executive board of the council. So thought that was an important shift that we made. had an extremely robust elections process. Over 50 of our colleagues were nominated to participate in that process. So we are excited to see both others nominating and tapping folks and saying, hey, we think you would be a great leader, as well as those who accepted their nomination and were also elected to the process. We are excited about the investment in Staff Council, and we encourage you, if you are thinking about it, keep thinking about it, talk to folks who are on Staff Council, because this election process will come up again in April of next year. Our recognition committee recognized our colleagues during busy times, in addition to just recognizing around work anniversaries. So recognizing that the ebbs and flow of our work and the need to say, hey, you're doing a really good job, even though we know this is a very stressful time of the year. And then in collaboration with Mission and Identity, we celebrated some of our contract partners, specifically our colleagues who work in housekeeping. And so that was a way to expand some of our recognition beyond our staff and to those other valuable members of our campus community. As we'll celebrate in a little bit, we had over 40 staff colleagues nominated for the Staff Excellence Award, so they're demonstrating further the amazing work that our colleagues do on our campus on a regular day. And then finally, in an effort to make sure that we were communicating our work better to our colleagues, we increased email communication and introduced the live streaming of our all-staff meetings so that folks who were not able to take the time away from their office were able to join us remotely if they wanted to. Something else that was important to Staff Council this year is in doing all of these efforts, we wanted to make sure that A, we were meeting the needs of our staff colleagues, as well as accomplishing the priorities that we set forth. So 2 different committees, our Mission and Advocacy Committee and our Communication and Assessment Committee, took on 2 different efforts to gain some of that information. The first, we held 3 staff listening sessions in April and May, 2 for non-supervisory staff members, and then 1 for supervisory staff members. About 50 people attended those and provided really important qualitative and quantitative data to us. We also distributed a survey online, and we had a 26% response rate. For any of those of you who do online surveys, that's a really good response rate. We're very excited about that. And again, finding really important information out from our colleagues. And then finally, our Staff Council Communication Assessment Committee kind of did an overall assessment of our priorities throughout the year for us. We're in the process of compiling a more comprehensive report that we will share more broadly with all of you when we have time to sort through all that data and get it all figured out. But we did want to share with you a couple of the things that we've learned so far as we have looked at the data that's been returned. First, we've learned that the Staff Council efforts to build morale have been working. We know that staff have reported that the efforts may help them feel more supported and connected to their colleagues, and that this was shared both in the survey as well as in the comments at the listening sessions. We also learned that staff members have expressed strong positive support of the new Staff Council initiatives, especially the expansion of social events, the employee resource groups, and the addition of things like the listening sessions. And what we gleaned from some of the results that we have is that overall, morale seems to have improved this year, but we recognize that that's not necessarily true for everyone, and it's not equitable across the entire university. So we know there's pockets where we might need to think about how are we supporting our colleagues in that capacity. We also learned that there's recognition in the roles that Staff Council is playing on different committees and in the way that they're advocating, but we're not doing the best job of sharing that back with the rest of the staff. So thinking about how are we sharing what is learned, what we're talking about with our colleagues, and trying to make sure that that is more transparent to the rest of our staff colleagues. So I know that that's going to be something that the upcoming Staff Council is going to be spending some time talking about as they set priorities. And then finally, our colleagues across campus appreciate the support that they've been given, especially through the efforts of Staff Council, but are still experiencing challenges and continuing to need support and advocacy. So thinking about things like balance and balancing workload and how jobs have changed and things like that. How do we help continue to support our colleagues who are working really hard and helping them continue to feel supported and invested in the work that they're doing. So at this time, we're going to move on to some of the recognition portions of the event. But before we did that, in a formal way, we wanted to thank a few different groups of folks that won't get some formal recognition throughout the rest of our presentation. But first, we wanted to thank our staff colleagues, those of you who have come to our events, have come to our meetings, have submitted questions or concerns through our many feedback mechanisms. That's important to the work that we do, and that helps Staff Council serve your needs and the needs of our colleagues. And so thank you for doing that. We also appreciate and want to give our best wishes to our colleagues who are retiring or moving on to pursue new opportunities. Your contributions have been invaluable and you will be deeply missed. And finally, we want to thank the members of the senior leadership team for their continued support of Staff Council and for encouraging folks to become involved. So at this time, I want to recognize a few new folks who will be occupying this area next year in their roles, and these are newly elected Staff Council members. So first, I want to congratulate Eddie Carrion, who will be the chair-elect. Lisa Ramsey, who will be vice chair for community building and networking. John Ambrose will be vice chair of communication and assessment. And Randy Manzek, who will be vice chair of mission and advocacy. I would also like to congratulate our at-large members who were recently elected, John Brodigan, James Burrows, Fred Maverick, Katie Jansen, Amy Zuka, Mike Nicholson, Melanie Moss, So thank you for your willingness to serve, and very excited to see the direction the Staff Council goes next year. So now we'd like to express our gratitude to the members of Staff Council who are completing their terms with us. So we have a small token of our appreciation, so I'm going to call you and ask you to come forward so that we can present you with the token of appreciation. So Nina Crawley. Adam Green. Jamie Spitznagel. Mary Ann Cicerelli. Next time you see Mary Ann, thank her for her work. And Carol Alderman. Same thing with Carol. Thank you. And we'll make sure that they did their research. I'd also like to thank the outgoing members of the Staff Council Executive Board. They have been tremendous leaders in helping shepherd many of the efforts that have occurred this year, so their contributions will be greatly missed. So Rory Hill. Julie Myers. And Megan wasn't right. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Salo Roberto, who is going to take us through the rest of our Staff Council Recognition and Excellence Awards.
Buenas tardes and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Salo, and I'm Vice Chair of Recognition in Staff Council this year. Super happy to begin our third annual Staff Recognition and Excellence Awards program. I want to begin by thanking folks today that made the process possible, though, because without them, this wouldn't have grown. Tara Rose, Marianne Cicerelli, Katie Jansen, Mike Nicholson, Phil Anzarelli, Megan Wilson-Wright, Eric Acoff, Leslie Beth, Ryan Armsworthy, and our friends at the Coffee Center and Air Market. We should give them a round of applause. I now want to bring attention to all of you received a program, to the back of your program. We want to celebrate staff who are experiencing milestones in their careers, and so you will find their names in our program, and I will ask those whose names are featured to please stand, and when I share the name of the year, when I share the number of years, please stand. So we first want to recognize staff who have been with us for 5 years. We invite these staff members to please stand together and be collectively recognized at this time. We now want to recognize staff who have been with us for 10 years. We invite these staff members to please stand together and be collectively recognized. We now want to recognize staff who have been with us for 15 years. We invite these staff members to please stand together and be collectively recognized. Thank you for your service. We now want to recognize staff who have been with us for 20 years. We invite these staff members to please stand together and be collectively recognized. We now want to recognize folks who have been with us for 25 years. We invite these folks to please stand. We now want to recognize folks who have been with us for 30 years. We invite these folks to stand. And now we want to especially celebrate anyone who's celebrating their 40th.
She's at a Title IX hearing.
Not so hard that she'll get. For your service. We will now begin our Excellence Awards ceremony. This year was special. We received 46 total nominations and 40 unique individuals in 4 categories were nominated this year. This was unprecedented. We quadrupled the nomination process. And so I want to thank all of you for making that possible. I want to first begin by asking all of our nominees, those with the flag of the years, to please stand at this time. And you collectively. We will be sharing your nominations with each of you in the next coming weeks. However, today, we want to recognize the 4 recipients of this year's award. I now invite Katie Jansen to present our first award.
Thank you, Salo. My name is Katie Jansen, and I will be serving as a member at large on the recognition committee. I also work in the Center for Career Services. I will be presenting the St. Ignatius of Loyola Leadership Award. This award recognizes outstanding leadership provided by a member of the John Carroll University community. This individual does not necessarily need to have supervisory oversight over individuals. Rather, they are involved with projects that benefit the larger university community. The nominators for this year's recipient shared the following with us. As a double alum of John Carroll University, this recipient has consistently risen to the task during her tenure here. At a time when the enrollment division faced immense pressure and uncertainty regarding leadership, along with significant changes with new personnel coming aboard, while valued contributing staff members left, this recipient took on more responsibility and was thrust into a more prominent leadership role within the division and on campus. She put herself and her own responsibilities second as she worked to manage our recruitment staff and make sure she was there for them and what they needed. She worked very hard, remained positive, handled herself professionally, and did an amazing job of leading her staff to a very successful year in enrollment. Christina is a supervisor who makes it easy to come to work, put in a best effort, and go home feeling accomplished. If all supervisors created a workplace dynamic like that, then we would be in an exceptional spot. This year's recipient is Christina So, Associate Director of Enrollment. Congratulations, Christina. I now re-invite our colleague, Stella Rodesno, up to present our second award.
Thanks, Katie. I will be presenting the Archbishop John Carroll Award for Learning. This award recognizes the contributions of a staff member to the educational pursuits of the university students, staff, and faculty. This individual enhances learning through innovative programs and initiatives. The nominators for this year's recipient share the following with us. This recipient's job is unique on campus. Working predominantly with first-year students, she is a key point person in helping students adjust to college-level expectations and identifying campus resources. This recipient proactively reaches out to students in distress, helps connect students to research and job opportunities on campus, and provides a consistent message of academic rigor and its importance. Before course-based research became a buzzword in academic circles, she was finding ways to implement it in her labs. In fact, students and principals of Biology 1 lab have collected data for current research projects in 2 biology faculty members' labs, and these data will be included in future publications. She is one of the most conscientious, insightful, diligent, compassionate instructors we have met on this campus. Her dedication to student learning should be emulated by all who teach. She mentors both undergraduate and graduate students with wisdom and pragmatism. As an active, continuous learner, Kathy is a role model to our students and is instrumental in their development into civic-minded, ethical, global citizens. This year's recipient is Kathy Wheeler. Lab coordinator. Congratulations, Kathy. I now invite our colleague Mike Nicholson to present our third award.
Thank you, Sal. My name is Mike Nicholson, and I will be serving as a member at large in the Recognition Committee. I also work in the Facilities Department. I'll be presenting the new Staff Member of the Year. This award recognizes the contributions and accomplishments of a staff member who has between 1 and 3 years of service at John Carroll University. This individual consistently exemplifies the university's mission through integrity, collaboration, respect, and customer service, while exhibiting continuous improvement, professionalism, and Blue Streaks pride. The nominators for this year's recipient shared the following with us. This recipient has demonstrated a fierce commitment to her work and has grown impressively in her role. This recipient has been working with first-year resident populations and Greek resident populations for the past 2 years. During that time, she has consistently given respect to students regardless of circumstance by actively listening to them, protecting their privacy, guiding them through reflection on their decision-making, and believing in them as developing young adults. In conduct sessions, this recipient works with students to examine the impact their choices have on their community and assists them in understanding how to repair the harm done to others. She accompanies them as they discover their authentic selves by expanding the conversation to include things that concern them, how they are connecting to campus, what classes they are enjoying, and what their expectations are for their experience. Lastly, this recipient's work garnered the praise of the Dean's Office of the College of Arts and Sciences on their weekly message sent out on April 30th. The message said, residents, life directors, and staff, in particular, Elizabeth Greenlee, have been fantastic in their help to make this living learning community a reality. The living learning communities will be continuing into a second year for the first year students. They would not have been as effective without all the time and work Elizabeth put into them. This year's recipient is Elizabeth Greenlee, Area Coordinator in the Office of Residence Life. Congratulations, Elizabeth. And now I'll invite our colleague Eric Eichhoff to present our last award.
Thank you, Mike. My name is Eric Eichhoff, and I will have the pleasure of serving as Chair of Staff Council for next year. I also work in the Office of Alumni Relations. I'll be presenting the Staff Member of the Year Award. This award recognizes the ongoing contributions and significant impact of a staff member who has a minimum of 4 years of service at John Carroll University. This individual exemplifies the university's mission through outstanding customer service, respect for his or her colleagues, collaboration, integrity, and Blue Streaks pride. The nominator for this year's recipient shared the following with us. This recipient is a selfless and giving person. He receives so much of himself, he gives so much of himself to John Carroll University each and every day. He has served as an integral member of the IMC team for several years in a role that might sometimes get overlooked. He is the one behind the scenes keeping the ship afloat. He is the person that arrives on campus before 5 a.m. to place directional signs around campus for our mid-student events. He doesn't leave until each and every sign is picked up, often after 5 p.m. He takes initiative and never hesitates to jump in and lend a hand. The recipient is described as the glue that holds IMC together. He keeps people and projects on task, is an excellent liaison to partners across campus, and develops vendor relationships that ensure that John Carroll gets the most for his dollar. He is creative and caring, direct and honest. He doesn't hesitate to identify and name a problem, even if that problem happens to be me. I appreciate his honesty as it helps me work smarter and be a better manager. His candid approach to critical feedback is refreshing and executed with care. What defines him the most is how he always wants to help others. Whether it is helping with a project or taking time out of his day to sit and teach someone a skill or software that they are unfamiliar with. It's never about Dan. It's always about the team. Dan lives the models of John Carroll University. This year's recipient is Daniel Binns, Communication and Analytics Manager. So we have one last person that we need to recognize. We have been very fortunate to have Lisa Brown Cornelius as our chair for Staff Council over the past year and chair-elect previous to that. She has been an amazing leader of our organization and a wonderful colleague and friend. As you can see by all the things that Staff Council has done over the past year, it's been a busy year, and she has kept us on path to really serving you, our John Carroll staff community. It obviously has been a year of transition and reorganization within the university, and whether it be from our advocacy initiatives to our morale building initiatives, she's worked tirelessly for this community. And I can't tell you the number of hours she puts in to help better us. So as a staff council, we wanted to say thank you to Lisa. Or the certificates that we give to all of our outgoing staff council members. And this year, our exec board is giving Lisa a few posters of campus. So we thought Murphy Hall would be appropriate. And then for her leadership, St. Nation's of Life. Before we turn to our reception, which will be upstairs on the balcony overlooking Hamlin Quad. If I would like to have all the recipients of the awards, please come down. We're going to take a group photo, and then we will see you all upstairs out in the beautiful Cleveland Wonderland.